Hello, this is Aaron from the smartphoneappreview.com, and today we've got a review of one epic game for the iPhone. Now, this game pitches itself as a sort of side-scrolling action-adventure. It's one of those games where the running is done automatically for you. It fancies itself as a sort of pick-up-and-play game. Each level has various different objectives, as you can see here. In which case this is, you must not kill any of the enemies. If you do, you lose 1 life, run 300 meters. So it's nice in the fact that it gives you some objective instead of just giving you a blind level and just sort of expecting you to just want to beat a high score. It does give you some objective, which is quite a nice incentive to play the game. Controls are very simple, as I mentioned before. You've just got one button to jump and one button to shoot. There are various different power-ups along the way. You've got your jetpack, and you've got standard weapon upgrades, so you can upgrade your pistol to a machine gun, to a laser sort of weapon which blasts through all the enemies. You can kill enemies by jumping on them, and there are various things on the level which you need to jump to avoid, or in fact don't shoot, otherwise you'd lose your life. Oh yeah, not to forget a rocket launcher. The game does have some form of a story, and while the story itself is ridden with cliches, I can gladly report that this is done completely on purpose, which is quite nice. The game is constantly making fun of those gaming cliches, and the little one-twos between the characters are quite funny. In fact, genuinely, they are quite funny. Yeah. You either have the type of enemy that goes on the ground, or the one that flies. Yes, they do vary in design, but they don't really vary in the fact that they don't really change how threatening they are to you. There are various different game modes, such as a free run, where you can play previous levels, and challenges, such as Exterminator, where you need to kill a certain amount of enemies, and different challenges where you have to last as long as you can. Environments are varied, with plenty to choose from, and they're nicely animated, but unfortunately this is where the good news sort of stops, because the graphics, though they are sort of advertised as Retina, because the icon is Retina, the graphics don't seem to be. The buttons are kind of pixely, and the graphics are, again, sort of fuzzy. Add to that, at some points in the game, it does seem to make it impossibly difficult. For example, in this level, like I mentioned before, you're not supposed to kill any enemies. So you might find an enemy that's sort of awkwardly positioned, which means if you jump to avoid him, you end up dying. All these things sort of detract from the overall game and, in a way, make it really frustrating to play. Also, this is nothing we haven't seen before. You know, we've seen a lot of this mechanic used in things like Jetpack Joyride, and the other one, which I forgot the name of, Monster Dash, both by Halfbrick. Very good games, but they focus on being very pick up and play. This seems to be very confused as to what it actually is. At times it focuses on the story, and at times it doesn't really focus on the gameplay. It's frustrating, and it lacks a bit of polish. Music and sound is decent. There is no voice acting, but it doesn't really matter. But the soundtrack can get quite repetitive. So while this game is a decent game, graphics are decent, the sound is decent, it doesn't really offer anything special. And if you've got games such as Monster Dash or Jetpack Joyride, you could probably give this one a miss. As such, this is going to get 60% from me. So that's all that needs to be said on this one epic game. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to click that subscribe button up at the top, or comment or like this video. And if you're watching on the smartphoneappreview.com, thank you very much for tuning in to the best website for iPhone app reviews. Once again, thank you very much for watching. This has been Aaron with the smartphoneappreview.com, and I'll see you all next time.